we got our second, maybe final, if at least full trailer for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
It says
Movie.
official trailer, so maybe it is the final.
Well, they'll do a lot of promo stuff leading
Yeah.
up to the movie. It comes out next month, so
Yeah.
November 11th. It's less than a little bit over a month away at this point.
Right.
And they'll start to ramp up their advertising for it for sure. But yeah, this is probably the official trailer. Yeah, TV spots, all that shit, reels on Instagram, all that good stuff.
Right.
But let's go ahead and watch this and let's talk about it.
Show them who we are.
Oh, a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff to talk about, I think. Maybe a little too much, honestly. This might be one of those cases of
Yeah.
a little too revealing.
A little bit.
I don't know why
they showed
do
a
this.
lot of the action stuff, but I don't know.
I mean, there were some big questions from the teaser that came out a couple of months back that we talked about. You know, where are we in this place? Like, what's going on since the death of T'Challa? Like, why are these nations warring? Who's going to be the new Black Panther? And all of those questions, I think, were seemingly answered by this trailer, unless there's some misdirection in here. Because as I've said before, Marvel has been known to do that in there. They'll cut fake scenes for trailers that don't appear in movies or that are different and stuff like that.
Right.
But it seems pretty clear to me that this is actually pulling pretty heavily from a comic book storyline, because these two nations are at war. I'm sure Dusty knows that. Almost perpetually, always in the comic books. And Namor in the comics goes back and forth, sometimes from being like a sort of villain to a hero. He's not super
more
black
of
and
an
white.
anti-hero. Yeah. He got the Phoenix Force one time and destroyed Wakanda, basically. So there's some history there, yeah.
But from this trailer, and building off of where we're at in the MCU, obviously Wakanda made itself known in the world in Civil War and by the end of Black Panther, the first film, and of course now with Endgame and all that stuff. Wakanda's a known place,
right?
And with that comes the knowledge that, oh shit, they're sitting on like the only deposit, as far as we know, of like the world's most valuable mineral.
Right.
How are we gonna get that shit? And it seems like from this trailer, there's a scene where there's some soldiers not of Wakanda or I'm gonna say Atlantis. That's not what it's called in this movie, but I don't know the name of it, so I'm gonna just say Atlantis.
Yeah, they renamed it. It's supposed to be Atlantis.
Yeah,
they didn't want to confuse viewers because Aquaman.
What it seems like is going on in this trailer is that governments are trying to mine for vibranium in the ocean, perhaps pissing off Namor,
right,
and sparking this sort of war that's going on between the two nations. And there is some precedence for that as well, because in Endgame, when during the blip, Natasha and the few remaining survivors, Okoye and Captain Marvel and Rocket, they were all basically the de facto governments or agencies of the world. And Okoye says,
the Avengers Security Council,
yeah. And Okoye says to Nat, like, oh yeah, there was some seismic activity in the ocean. And Nat like, oh, did you check it out? And Okoye is like, no, we handled it just like we should handle a earthquake under the ocean. Like, it's not a big deal type of thing. So this could be, that could have, everybody had thought at the time, like, oh shit, Namor's from the ocean. Maybe. Seems like maybe they're going to be building off of that.
It was heavily inferred and seems to be coming to fruition, yes.
But I think more importantly, if you listen to some of what Angela Bassett's Ramonda's saying when she's in front of that World Council, she's like, I hear what you're all whispering. Their king is gone. Or their protector, they lost their protector is what she says, or something like that. And that's another interesting thing too, like with the Black Panther out of the picture, King T'Challa, the nations of the world probably think that Wakanda's weak.
Right. It's the time to strike.
Now's the time to strike. So
Yeah.
I think there's some really interesting. I think this movie's going to be phenomenal. Just get that out of the way. It looks fucking amazing.
It does. It also, for me, just from viewing the trailers, which is not much, but it doesn't feel so weird without Chadwick. Rest in peace to Chadwick Boseman, of course. But it doesn't. It seems like they're keeping the spirit of Wakanda alive in the movie, and of course, we haven't seen the movie yet, but so far it doesn't seem like it doesn't feel that weird to me. Some people, says it's gonna feel really weird without Chadwick being there as Black Panther, but I
Yeah,
don't think I feel the same so
I think
far.
I agree. I think that's because they are honoring not only the character but also the person who played the character, right?
Yeah, right.
And we talked about this too when debating on whether or not they should have recast T'Challa. And you said, Marvin, it's not really about him, it's about what he stands for.
Yep.
And that obviously could be carried whoever. So I think
Yeah.
I think
I actually like that it's carried more by the group of people
mhm.
than maybe focusing on a certain individual from the place.
Yeah, I agree. And there's some interesting stuff I think we're gonna get in this movie in terms of characters. I think each person now, because it becomes a much different story when it's not about T'Challa, like the Black Panther, the hero
Right.
who's gonna go out and like stop the bad guy, right? It becomes
Right.
like you said about a group of people who are dealing with this loss.
Yeah,
And
I think it's great. Yeah,
a couple of key characters that I think are going to be very interesting. Angela Bassett's character, Ramonda, she has to step up while mourning the loss of her son, right?
yeah.
She
heavy
has to
stuff.
step up and be like the interim queen of Wakanda because we know
Yeah.
the leader is chosen through those battles, right?
Right.
So she's got to do that. She doesn't even have a chance to mourn, it seems like, from this trailer or from these
Right.
trailers. We've got Nakia, who was T'Challa's love interest, and there's some rumors that perhaps she's pregnant with his kid, stuff like that. We don't know too much about
Oh,
her from
wow.
the trailer. The fact that she is not in the trailer, there's one scene where it might be her, but the fact that she's not prominently featured in this trailer sort of kind of makes me think that she's going to be the new Black Panther, which is, well, I'll talk about in 1 second.
Everyone thinks it's Shuri, right? Like
Well,
that's the
Yeah, I
Or
think
no?
that's like the obvious thing. I saw some people point out that the new Black Panther costume, it's clearly a female, right? Like obviously
Clearly,
at this
yeah.
point. But it has white dots like war paint on it on the headpiece, and it's the same pattern that Shuri wore when she
that's
went
a
to
good-
battle in the first
okay.
one.
Yeah.
So again, that could be something that's just misdirection or whatever. Who's to say? But that's also going to be another interesting character arc, right? Like she was like the brains of Wakanda. Now she has to step
Right.
into this role of protector and perhaps queen.
Yeah.
But the two characters that I'm really excited to see, Namor, not just because he's like the first mutant and all like the comic booky shit, but from a character perspective, I really like what they're doing to adapt him and differentiate him from the comic books in that they're tying their culture, the Atlantean culture, to Mesoamerican culture, like the Aztecs and the Mayans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's very interesting to me. But it's also, he's clearly newly appointed king of his people in this, it seems like, from this trailer. And because he's young, that might be why he's perhaps at battle with Wakanda, who really means no harm to him. We don't really know, obviously, what they're building towards, but I think that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he's got something to prove.
But the biggest thing that I'm excited for, and I hope they really give us a lot of like development for her, Okoye. I've loved her since she appeared in the MCU. I just think I love Danae Guerrera. She's fucking awesome. I've said this
She is
before.
awesome.
I love the
Yeah.
character of Okoye, but she's now at a place where, like, imagine being her. Like, her one fucking job on this earth is to defend her king and prevent him from dying. And she failed at that. At least I'm assuming is going to be what's in her mind, right? Like, I failed at what I had to do. And that will tie into, like, well, how did T'Challa die? They haven't teased it. Who knows
right.
what they do, whether it's an off-screen death that they don't even mention or if it's whatever.
Yeah.
We talked about theories and
If they
stuff.
don't mention what happened to T'Challa, a lot of people are going to be very upset, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I
Yeah.
would be
It's
though.
something you if you just write off a character like T'Challa and say, yeah, he's dead, we're moving on. I don't know that you're gonna. I don't know.
You're right.
I
I
don't
think
know.
you're
That's the
right.
right way to do it. I think they need to touch on it. I think they will touch on it.
Well,
How they do it, I don't know.
I
But
hear
they definitely, I think, will go into it.
I
We'll
hear-
get some exposition.
I hear you, and I understand where you're coming from, but hear me out for a second. So, personally, maybe you don't agree, but I think that it would be disrespectful to Chadwick and his family if Kevin Feige and Marvel and Ryan Coogler and all the people involved used his death as an opportunity to write in something for the MCU. Like we had speculated, like, oh, maybe Doctor Doom killed him off screen. I have since kind of been thinking about this, like, well, that's kind of fucking disrespectful if it's like, well, he's dead because of this. Like, it's a they use it as like a writing inspiration. And I think I could easily see them just being like it's enough to just sort of mourn him. You feel the loss, obviously, from just the trailers alone.
Yep.
So I think that would be enough. I don't think they have to specifically say like, oh, well, he died of this thing or this thing or this thing. That's just me. Who knows what they're gonna do? But
yeah, I disagree. I think even you yourself said in past videos and conversations we've had about this, like he was a pivotal character.
Yeah.
Right.
In the MCU. So to just sweep his death under the rug, like, yeah, it happened. Let's get past it. Like,
right.
Don Cheadle replacing, Rhodey. Like, it's me. I'm here. Let's get past it. Like, I don't think that's how you handle the death of a character in the universe. I think they give it a little more care, a little more attention, and we'll find out. I hope, because like I said, if it goes the way you do and you think it will, I think a lot of people are going to be pissed off, and
Probably
we're going to be in
I bet you people will be pissed off no matter what.
controversial debate about the movie. Yeah, sure. There's
There's
always going to be people who
on both
love it and
sides.
hate it. Yeah, always. But I think that the character T'Challa needs a send off, and saying what happened is part of that.
Yeah,
We want to know.
it's definitely a tough spot to be in, I think.
It is.
Absolutely. It
But
is.
as long as they, most important thing is that they honor him properly in terms of like, not more importantly the person, not the character. Like the character's the character, but like I think more importantly they honor what he would have wanted for the character. So yeah, that'll be the one thing interested to see. But going back to Okoye, like where it'll be very just interesting to see how if they do explain his death, how they explain it, and how she's affected by it. Because again, that is her role. That's her one duty, is to protect him.
Right.
So if he died of natural causes, it'll be something interesting for her character to deal with. Like, fuck, there's nothing I could have done. But we see how death affects a lot of people. Even though they know that like they couldn't have done anything, like the logical thing, there's always that like, fuck, I could have done more or I should have done more type of thing.
Right.
But yeah, no, I'm excited for this movie. It looks fucking phenomenal. It's probably one of the Marvel films that I've been more excited about in recent memory, other than like Spider-Man No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically all I got to say about it. It looks fucking phenomenal. And
yep, just give me the movie already.
Yeah.
Tired of the trailers, tired of the
Hey,
TV
November
spots.
11th.
Just let's get to it. Let's watch it.
another couple things, dude, to talk about is we get a nice shot of Riri Williams' Ironheart suit. Her essentially, I would imagine, is her first suit taking flight. We see it from down below, and it's very big and bulky. And Marvin, we talked about it in fucking, I don't remember what we talked about it in a couple days ago, but of that Tony Stark AI.
Oh.
This is where it appeared in the comic books. Tony Stark was in a coma when she takes on the mantle of Ironheart,
Okay.
and he's basically her Jarvis,
Wow.
Tony Stark's AI. So
Yeah.
I wonder, are we going to get that Tony Stark AI?
That would be fucking hype.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Will they do that in Black Panther too? I don't think so, considering this movie is very much about honoring and mourning Chadwick and and T'Challa. They'll probably leave Tony out of it, as that may outshine some of the other stuff. the potential
Maybe.
I
is
still
there.
think they're gonna leave us with a couple big surprises in this movie. I think there's
Yeah.
some things
Mhm.
that are just gonna shock us and we're like, holy shit, did you let's talk
Yeah.
about that.
If they're
Right.
sleeping on that Doctor Doom shit, I'm gonna freak out. That shit's gonna be crazy. That is
That
gonna
would be
wild.
a crazy prediction.
Even if, because listen, there's something behind this war. It's not gonna be just as simple as like a misunderstanding, right? Somebody's gonna be pulling the strings in the background. Something's gonna be happening. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see for sure. One other character I think that they're gonna be building on in this one is Anika. She's a member of the Dora Milaje. She's featured in this trailer quite a bit, and I saw an Easter egg sort of breakdown video that suggests that she might have some sort of spotlight in this film. So we'll get to see that as well. Winston Duke looks fucking badass. He's back. M'Baku.
Oh yeah. He was
Yeah.
always yeah, I love him.
And he's basically the exposition we get in this trailer. He's explaining who Namor is. Namor is seen as a god by his people.
Right.
And we may also get more introduction to some of the other gods. We know the gods exist, right? We got confirmation in Thor that there's like this whole fucking group of gods.
Right.
We saw the fucking gods in Moon Knight. And the Wakandans worship the god Bast.
Damn.
So maybe we'll get some more god stuff, and it'll make a little bit more sense of the shit that seems so out of place in Moon Knight.
That would be crazy. It also sucks that we did lose Gore in Love and Thunder. This would be like a perfect. He's the God Butcher, right?
Oh, remember
He didn't
Marvel.
get them all.
No, he didn't.
He was not Pokemon Master.
Gotta slay 'em all. Yeah.
But wow. This is again, I'm very excited for this. Comes out in November 11th. So be sure to check back with us, folks, to see our thoughts on the movie. We will surely be reviewing it here on the YouTubes and also on our podcast that you could find on any major podcast platform. But if you have not done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that notification bell, and check out our website, harshlanguage.tv, where we've got everything all in one nice, neat place. Let us know what you think of this trailer and what your thoughts are on what we're going to potentially see in this film. But until then, we'll catch you in the next one.
See ya.
Costa.